Welcome to The Explainer. So, what if there was a secret button you could push to feel stronger, maybe even younger? Well, today we're digging into an article that claims to have found it, and it all boils down to one key hormone that's in charge of muscle, energy, and repair in your body.
The source we're looking at today starts with a question that I think pretty much everyone can relate to. It's that feeling like your personal battery is just draining way too fast. You feel tired more often, you don't feel quite as strong as you used to. It's that classic low power mode that just seems to creep up on us. And according to this article, a huge reason for that feeling is the natural decline of something called human growth hormone, or HGH for short. You can think of it as this master messenger in your body that's responsible for all the good stuff, building muscle, burning fat, and repairing damage. The catch, as the article points out, is that as we get older, our bodies just don't produce as much of it. All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look a little closer at this low battery feeling. Then, we'll get into the source's idea for calling the foreman back. You'll see what that means in a sec. After that, we'll peek inside the formula it talks about. And finally, we'll look at the road to getting results. Okay, so let's start by really digging into the problem here, at least as the article sees it. And it uses this really simple but honestly pretty brilliant analogy to explain what HGH is doing inside of all of us. So check this out. The article wants you to picture your body as a construction site. HGH is the foreman, the guy in charge, yelling at the crew to build lean muscle and fix things up. But as we age, the article says the foreman basically, well, he goes on a really, really long vacation. And when he's gone, all that important work just grinds to a halt. So, if your foreman is off the job, the big question is, how do you get him back to work? Well, the article proposes a pretty specific way to do that, and it's a really interesting take on the whole thing. And this, right here, is probably the most important distinction the source makes. This isn't about injecting some kind of synthetic or fake HGH. Nope. The approach it describes is using what's called an HGH releaser, basically a formula that gives your body the raw materials it needs to start pumping out more of its own growth hormone, all on its own, naturally. The article presents this whole thing as a dual delivery system. The idea is to tackle the problem from two angles. You've got daily pills to help keep your energy levels up during the day, and then you've got an oral spray you use right before bed, which is prime time for your body to release HGH while you're in a deep sleep. So let's talk about what's actually in this formula. The article shines a spotlight on a few key ingredients that it says are absolutely essential for getting that hormone balance right, and of course for promoting the muscle building we're all interested in. As the source describes it, the formula really leans on this trio of key players. You can almost think of it like a team. You've got L-arginine as your star muscle builder, L-glutamine playing defense against stress, and then Tribulus terrestris as the energy booster to keep your drive high. The article puts a ton of focus on L-arginine. It's an amino acid, and they use this great analogy. If you're trying to build a wall of muscle, L-arginine is the actual brick. It's the fundamental building block you just can't do without. And get this, to back that up, the source points to clinical studies. It says that supplementing with L-arginine can actually help your body increase its HGH levels by up to 3 times, even as you get older. That is a huge number. The other two ingredients are kind of like the ultimate support system. You've got L-glutamine, which is framed as a stress fighter that helps protect your muscles from breaking down. And then there's Tribulus terrestris, which is a plant extract that's in there to help boost your daily energy and that overall feeling of vitality. Now, a really big piece of the article's argument is this head-to-head comparison. It draws a super clear line in the sand between a natural supplement approach, pills in a spray, and those synthetic HGH injections. It positions the supplement as the safer, needle-free, and way more affordable option compared to expensive and potentially risky clinical treatments. And to give all this a human face, the article shares some personal stories. Here's one from a 52-year-old guy named James. He talks about that classic 2 p.m. crash, just disappearing, and having the energy to actually go to the gym after a full day of work. That's a direct link to that core idea of restoring hormone balance for more energy. And here's another one from David, who's 44. This one hits on 2 other huge points: better sleep, and this is a big one for anyone who works out, way faster recovery. No more being sore for days. And that connects right back to HGH being the foreman in charge of repairs. But the source is really clear about something. This isn't just about popping some pills. To really see the benefits, it lays out a whole path that combines the formula with a few key lifestyle habits. So, and this is so important, it's not presented as some kind of magic bullet. The article really hammers home that for the best results, you've got to be consistent, you've got to exercise to help trigger that HGH release, and you've got to get good sleep to let the hormone actually do its repair work. It's a whole system. The article also does a pretty good job of setting expectations about timing. It suggests you might start feeling that energy boost within the first couple of weeks. But for the bigger stuff, like really noticeable changes in muscle tone, it recommends sticking with it for at least 90 days. So let's just quickly wrap up the main ideas from this source. First, HGH is positioned as this absolutely critical hormone for energy and muscle. Second, its decline is just a natural part of getting older. But, and this is the core argument, natural releasers can supposedly help your body make more of its own, especially when you pair them with good habits like exercise and sleep. And that really leads us to the final thought that this article leaves us with. Instead of adding things to our bodies from the outside, is the future of aging and health all about finding smarter ways to just, well, to encourage our bodies to do what they already know how to do? It's a pretty fascinating question to think about.